Good evening, class, and welcome back. My name is Katrina Tovar, and today we will be reviewing the blood flow of the heart and also a few anatomy of the structures of the heart. So the heart contains four chambers. We have our right and left atrium, and then we have our right and left ventricles. So right ventricle, left ventricle. There are four valves. We have our tricuspid valve, we have our aortic valve, and a mitral valve. One that's not showing here is the pulmonary valve. So we'll go ahead and get started with the blood flow, starting with deoxygenated blood entering into the heart. So deoxygenated blood enters the heart via the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava into the right atrium. From the right atrium, it then goes into our right ventricle via the tricuspid valve. From the right ventricle, it then goes through the pulmonary valve into our pulmonary trunk, and it splits off into the right and left pulmonary arteries, and those go into our lungs. So from the lungs, or in the lungs, this is where our blood is getting rid of our carbon dioxide. It's picking up oxygen. So it's getting rid of the deoxygenated blood and picking up oxygenated blood, and it's bringing that back into the heart. It's coming into the heart through the veins. So through pulmonary veins into our left atrium. So from the left atrium, the blood is going to pass through the mitral valve, also known as a bicuspid valve, into our left ventricle. So from the left ventricle, it's going to exit the left ventricle through the aortic semilunar valve. So once it passes through the aortic valve, it goes into the aorta. So the aorta is our largest artery of the body. It also, so the aorta is what's going to be distributing the blood to the body. So we have our aortic arch here, and then it descends down into our thoracic, into our abdomen, and supplying the blood to the pelvis and the legs. So that's pretty much, in short, the blood flow through the heart. So as the oxygenated blood goes out to the body, it comes back in once again for the cycle through the right atrium. So really quick, so we got our right atrium into our right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it goes out through the pulmonary trunk into the pulmonary arteries, out into our lungs, picking up the oxygenated blood, coming back into our left atrium, into our left ventricle, out our aortic valve. So it's a circuit, I guess you can say. It goes out to our body and comes back in. So our blood is just constantly pumping and supplying our body with oxygenated blood. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that was helpful for you to kind of get the flow of get the cycle of our blood flow. Thank you again for joining, and have a great night.